Long ago, in a quiet village called Lawanga, surrounded by thick forests and slow-moving rivers, lived a woman named Nabari. She was kind, quiet, and hardworking. Everyone in the village knew her. She always woke up before the sun and went to the river to wash clothes. She never shouted, never gossiped, never fought. But there was one thing she did not have: a child. She and her husband, Reby, had been married for more than 10 years. They prayed, they tried herbs, they visited healers. Nothing worked. Still, Nabari remained hopeful. She believed that one day, the earth would remember her tears and give her a child. But what she didn't know was that the child who would come would not be like other children. Not at all. One evening, Nabari was walking back from the well with a pot of water on her head. The moon was bright, and the path was quiet. As she walked past the old fig tree where elders once held meetings, she saw something strange. A woman sat under the tree, dressed in white. Her face was covered with a veil, and beside her was a clay pot, glowing with soft light. Nabari stopped. "Are you lost?" she asked. The woman did not answer. Instead, she pointed to the clay pot. "Take it," she whispered. Her voice was soft like wind passing through grass. "Why?" Nabari asked. The woman stood and slowly began to walk into the darkness of the forest, disappearing among the shadows. The clay pot remained. Nabari was confused. But something deep inside her heart told her to take it. She lifted the clay pot. It was warm, almost alive. She carried it home and hid it under her bed. From that night on, strange dreams began. She saw rivers flowing backward, trees dancing in circles, and in the middle of it all, a child with eyes like stars calling her name. Nabari. 3 months later, Nabari began to feel changes in her body. Her stomach grew round. Her skin glowed. The village women danced and ululated when they saw her. Finally, they said, "The gods have remembered her." But Nabari was worried. She had not been with her husband during the time she thought she became pregnant. Reby had been away hunting for 2 months. Still, she said nothing. She did not want to lose this miracle. 9 months later, on a quiet night when even the dogs did not bark, Nabari gave birth. There was no midwife. No woman came to help her. Yet somehow, she delivered safely. When she looked at the baby, her heart stopped. It was a boy, but he had no belly button. His eyes were white like moonlight, and his skin was so pale it almost shone in the dark. She named him Wamala. As Wamala grew, people noticed strange things. He never cried. He never crawled. One day, at just 3 months old, he stood up and walked. At 5 months, he spoke. At 6 months, he could climb trees taller than any grown man. The elders became afraid. "This is not a child," one old woman whispered. "This is a spirit in human skin." The villagers began to avoid Nabari. They refused to touch her water. Children were not allowed to play near her house. But Nabari loved her son with all her heart. She protected him. She taught him to stay indoors, to hide his gifts, to be silent around strangers. But Wamala was curious. He wanted to understand the world, and his power was growing. One night, Wamala woke up his mother. "Mama," he said, "they are calling me." "Who?" Nabari asked, heart pounding. "The ones from the forest. They say I must return." Nabari held him tightly. "You are my son. You will not go anywhere." But every night, Wamala heard the voices. Some were soft, some angry. Some cried. "They are waiting," he told her. Nabari went to the village priest. She begged for help. The priest came and looked at Wamala. He placed cowrie shells on the ground, said prayers, and watched how they fell. After a long silence, he said, "This boy is not from here. He was born from the spirit world. He does not belong to us. What must I do?" Nabari asked, her voice shaking. "Keep him from water," the priest said, "especially at night. That is where spirits come through." For many weeks, Nabari locked the doors at night and kept Wamala close. But one evening, dark clouds gathered. Thunder cracked the sky. Heavy rain fell, and the roof began to leak. Water rushed under the door, and Wamala stood still in the middle of the room. "Mama," he whispered, "they are here." "No," Nabari shouted. She held him tightly, but the wind broke the window. A strong cold swept through the house. Wamala's eyes turned bright white. He smiled, then cried for the first time. A voice filled the house. "Return to us." And just like that, Wamala vanished. Only the clay pot was left behind, sitting in the middle of the floor. Nabari searched the whole village. She called every elder. She walked into the forest with a burning torch. She cried. She screamed. But there was no sign of her son. She took the clay pot to the priest. He touched it and closed his eyes. "He is not dead," the priest said. "He lives between the worlds. The spirit world has claimed him back." "But why?" Nabari asked. Why give him to me only to take him away? Sometimes, the priest said, the spirits borrow human love to remember what it feels like. Many years passed. Nabari grew old. She lived alone, still waiting. One day, during a season of famine, when food was hard to find, a stranger came to the village. He wore a long robe. His face was hidden under a hood, but wherever he walked, rain followed. Plants grew. People smiled without knowing why. He came to Nabari's hut. Do you remember me? He asked. She looked at him, her hands shaking. It was Wamala. He looked like a man, but his eyes still glowed. I have walked among spirits, he said. I have spoken to winds. I have seen stars born, but I never forgot your voice. Nabari cried, and then, he walked into the forest and disappeared.